Hi everyone and welcome to Nico's Kitchen's Fast Food Friday. Today we are making one of the most iconic fast foods in the world today. Of course, I'm talking about the famous Krispy Kreme glazed donut.
He's got budget meal Mondays, what you want Wednesdays, fast food Fridays, what else could he share? It's Nico's Kitchen where satisfying meals are prepared.
So guys, the first thing that we're going to do to get started on our Krispy Kreme donuts, just into a jug here, I've got some milk, and to the milk, I'm going to be adding in some butter. Now what I want you to do is pop this in the microwave, and we're going to melt that butter, and it's going to warm the milk through. So our butter has melted with the milk, and I'm just going to add in a couple more things before we let this to cool. First thing is just some salt, just a little bit of salt, and I'm also going to be adding in just a small amount of sugar. We're just going to give that a mix around, and now we're going to let this cool for about 10 minutes because we don't want to put it in because we're going to be mixing eggs and we don't want those eggs to scramble, so just leave it to cool for 10 minutes. So now that I've let our milk mixture to cool just into a large bowl, I'm just going to pour it straight in. To the milk, I'm going to be adding in some dried yeast. And you can find the dried yeast in all of the supermarkets, so it's not going to be hard to find. Next, I'm going to be adding in some nutmeg. I'm going to be adding in some more sugar. After the sugar, I'm going to be adding in some eggs that I've just whisked up. Now I'm just going to give this a quick mix around just before I add in the flour. Now I'm going to add in our flour 1 cup at a time, and I'm going to mix each portion through. So just first one in, and while you're mixing it in, we're going to add in the next, and just keep repeating this process with all the flour that you've got, and what you'll find is it will form a sticky dough. So guys, this is what we're after. You can just see it's just slightly pulling, just a little bit sticky to touch, and that's what we're looking for. So now we're going to leave this for about an hour, and what is going to happen is that yeast will rise that dough, and that's what we're looking for. So I'm just going to cover it with a tea towel and leave it for an hour. So it's been an hour. You can see our dough has risen there, and I've just dusted my bench top with some extra flour because we're going to need that dough. Now, like I said, the dough will be quite sticky, but we're just going to coat it in that flour, and I'm just going to knead it just like that. Just fold back, push, and just do this for about 5 minutes. So after kneading it, what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to cut it into 4 portions. It's going to make our dough much easier to roll out. Now again, I'm just going to dust my rolling pin, and we're just going to roll out this dough. We don't want it too thin. We still want it about that thick. Now all we've got to do now is grab a cookie cutter, and we're just going to cut just into the dough like that. And I'm going to use a smaller cookie cutter, and I'm just going to make our hole in the middle. So just keep repeating this process with all the dough that you have. So of course we're going to be deep frying our donuts. Now just into a large pan I've got here, I've got some vegetable oil, and we've brought it up to a nice high heat ready for frying. All I want you to do is just grab our donuts and just place them in very carefully. Don't load it up, you just want a few in there at a time. And they're only going to need about 2.5 to 3 minutes. And we just want them nice and golden brown on the outside. Once they go nice and golden brown, just put them on some paper towel and let them to cool and drain off that excess oil. So while our donuts are cooling after we've fried them off, we're going to get started on our donut glaze. Now first into a bowl, I'm going to be putting in some icing sugar or some powdered sugar. I'm going to add just a small amount of some salt. I'm going to also add in some water, and I'm also going to be adding in some vanilla extract. Now we're just going to give this a good mix around, and that's what you're after, just like that. That sort of consistency, not very thick, but not too thin either. Just enough to stick. Now once they're cooled down, what I'm going to do now is just pop them straight in. Just submerge them, just like that. Pull them out, just shake off the excess, and we're just going to place them on a plate, and we're going to leave it there to set. So there you have it, guys. There's my version of some Krispy Kreme donuts. Let's get stuck into one of these bad boys, shall we? Let's go. Oh. Just have a look at this. How cool is that? All the ingredients are below. Give these a go, guys. They are super easy to do. You guys take care, and I'll see you this Sunday for another Nico's Classics recipe. So until then, take care.